This is one of the best scenes I've ever played in games. A character chooses to sell her soul to a demon lord just to save her family. Why would anyone do that with someone they've only known for a week? Someone who doesn't even have any magical power to grant wishes? Because the game shows us how this demon lord becomes someone you're willing to die for. And that is a rarity in modern fiction. Think about almost every gacha game or even movies you've watched in the last 5 years. The protagonists walk into the room and instantly everyone loves them, trusts them, and treats them like a messiah. That is the literal definition of a Mary Sue. It's cheap, it's unearned, it's boring. Stella Sora refuses to do any of that because they know it's not about telling you what the Tyrant is. It's about showing you what she can do. Now, quick heads up. In this video, we will be breaking down major plot points of Chapter 1 and 2 in Stella Sora. So if you haven't played through them yet and want to experience it fresh, go play it first. Trust me, it's worth it. Otherwise, let's break down how the story works. Here's a misconception in fantasy writing. Lore doesn't make a good protagonist. Sure, if we look at this game's prologue, we get all the classic mystery boxes. The Tyrant is found inside a coffin, wakes up with amnesia, and she cannot physically fight. Yeah, cool. But let's be honest, that is cliche as heck, isn't it? Almost every gacha game does this, and half the time, they will use this as a crutch to tell you, here's why this character is deep, so please read this 20-minute exposition. But they completely miss the point. To make a character interesting, we actually want to see character choices. What would that character do when they lose everything they have? After waking up with amnesia and being rescued by the main trio, the Tyrant's relationship to them are strictly just acquaintances. They're good people, but they're just doing it as a courtesy among adventurers. Clearly, the Tyrant is not someone they're willing to die for just yet. The original plan was to just drop you off in a local office to find out who you are and then live on their merry way. But this will quickly change when out of nowhere, Feagin, the bad guy in the story, suddenly seized their car to collect a massive debt for the Ashwin Orphanage, the place where the trio grew up. Apparently, their foster mother has vanished and left the remaining kids to pay off her debts. This is personal to them. The trio are completely paralyzed. Iris is panicking. Noya and Amber don't know what to do. They're about to lose their car and home, betrayed by their foster mother, and are now in serious debts. And usually, in gacha games, the protagonist can only watch things happen and wait for someone else to come to the rescue. But not here. The Tyrant is the one who steps up. No, you don't just mess up with my rescuers. She calls out the absurdity of Feagin's story and the legality of the debt itself. Yes, she doesn't actually win the argument because Feagin still holds a CEO power. More on that later. But this act immediately changes everything in their relationship. It earns the respect of the trio. Even though the Tyrant is a total amnesiac, it feels completely natural for Noya to turn to her and ask, what do we do next? Because she has displayed a cool-headed, skillful authority that none of them possess. So this good leader decides we should probably check out the orphanage first, only to find the place in shambles. Guarding what's left of the orphanage is a gang led by Minova, the very same girl who will eventually sell her soul to the Tyrant. And the key to understand why she would do that is to understand who she really is. Minova is a mirror image of the Tyrant, a selfless, good person willing to sacrifice everything to protect the weak. She was an orphan who managed to get into high society through a scholarship program, only then to throw that all away to protect the orphanage. It is so easy for her to just turn her head away and live her own life. But she cannot do it because she knows how it feels to live as a helpless little girl. The problem is, In this world, being kind is not enough. Try as she might, Minova cannot save the kids from Feagin's evil machinations. So what did Feagin do exactly? Well, she trapped the kids in a literal brain-rotting slave labor. The monoliths in Stella Sora are wish-granting objects. Enter it and you can get any object you want. The catch is, the monolith will erase a random memory from your mind. And that is mentally exhausting even for professional adventurers, so you have to limit how many times you do it in a day. And if you push that limit too far, your soul will shatter, and you will permanently become a catatonic vegetable. Now, Feagin forces the kids to make wishes 10 times or more every day to pay off their debts. And she has been doing this for 2 years. That's why the kids are always drowsy and weak. It's a miracle they haven't died yet. The Tyrant and the main trio cannot simply let this continue. So they sign a contract with Feagin to take away the orphanage debt to themselves, effectively selling their own soul to work forever under her thumb. But the Tyrant goes further. She steps in with a brilliant idea. Seeing that the monolith drains their memories, then she will give them knowledge to replace it. And this works. The kids get sharper, the Ashwin gang gives her their respect, and she solidifies her place as a true leader. But make no mistake, the Tyrant isn't helping people because she wants allies to fight Feagin together. No, she is just fundamentally good. And the biggest proof is that she won't even hesitate to give her life away for her friends. When Feagin ordered a magical bolt to be fired straight at Minova, the Tyrant instinctively leaps in front of her to take that hit. And look, we already established at the start of this video that the Tyrant cannot use magic. She isn't a fighter who can take a bolt of dark magic. So it's understandable that Minova was devastated watching her take that hit. Now, sure, it turns out the Tyrant has a cheat code of magical immunity. She cannot use magic, but magic can hurt her either. But at that time, she didn't know that. It was an instinct she does for her friends. But again, in this world, you cannot win with just the power of friendship. For the rest of the story, no matter what they do, Feagin just cannot be stopped. She is not smart or strong, but she is a CEO of a company. And in this world, CEOs are blessed by the god and can command the city guards to work for her. No matter how many guards they take down, Feagin can always order 100 more. How can a small gang of misfits can deal with that? The team is cornered, desperate, and completely out of options, except for one. The only way to beat Feagin is to take away that CEO advantage, which means the Tyrant has to become CEO. And as it turns out, the Tyrant actually owned a company in the past. All she needs to do to reclaim that authority is to just make one transaction. Just one deal, and Feagin's power is instantly gone. The problem is, her company deals in trading souls. People wish for something, the Tyrant grants their wish, and she claims their soul for eternity. They don't instantly drop dead, but nobody exactly knows what that entails. And that's the problem. This brings us right back to where we started. The Tyrant is an English localization. In Japanese, her title is Maou, the Demon Lord. Everyone in this world knows what that actually means. And more importantly, this deal feels wrong to the Tyrant. What makes her different from Feagin if the Tyrant just takes someone's soul to seize power? Nothing. So the Tyrant offers to just sell her authority instead to pay off their debt. But Minova won't have any of that. She insists to sell her own soul. Feagin cannot be trusted. She kept changing the terms of the contract after you sign it. 2 years of absolute hell under Feagin's thumb, and Minova can do nothing about it. But then comes along this amnesiac who took their deaths, healed the kids, and took a lethal bullet for her. There is no demon in this room. There is only a friend who she trusted with her life, who she respects and would rather have her lead the Ashwin gang instead of her. Selling her soul becomes so easy, and her wish is to free everyone by destroying Feagin's company. And just like that, Feagin instantly loses everything, because now the Ashwin gang is under the protection of another CEO, so she has to play fair. She has no more power to alter contracts. She cannot command the city guards to fight for her. So in one last pathetic attempt, Feagin makes one last giant wish in Monolith to flood the city with monsters. And as we're about to see, that blows up in her face in the most satisfying way possible. Actual poetic justice. Everything in the story builds up to this point. Every act of kindness is rewarded. The Tyrant doesn't just get love at the start like any other gacha game protagonist. She has to step up and show she is worthy to become a leader. She has to earn the trust of the trio. She has to earn the loyalty of the gang. She has to show she is willing to risk her own life for them to earn this victory. And similarly, every act of evil is punished. Because Feagin spends years enslaving the children, in the end, her final wish gets her brain permanently scrambled into a vegetable, the exact fate she forced onto the children. And this feels satisfying. Evil gets what they deserve. It's karma, and it's so damn refreshing among modern gacha games where everything is using gray morality, nothing matters, and nobody faces consequences. And I've only just scratched the surface here. There are still a lot more to appreciate in this game, like the branching bad endings that actually shows Feagin's side of the story. If you're more interested in the lore side of the story, there are some lore breadcrumbs I left behind in this video, like the question of why this demon lord even lost her memories, or the fact that everything in this story seems to be orchestrated by Bastelna's boss behind the scenes. So if this kind of storytelling clicked for you, then Stella Sora is a game you should try yourself. And you're in luck! With the new summer event update, we will once again see every character in swimsuits. Karin, a tsundere bunny girl, will now join the team, and you'll get 30 plus free gacha pulls right from the start. Links in the description if you want to check it out, and don't forget to redeem the code Karin in-game for even more rewards. But what do you think? Are you also tired of gray morality in gacha games, or silent self-inserts that do nothing of their own will in the story? Let me know in the comment section down below. Subscribe if you want to see more story essays like this, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.